Hey, good morning. I know the feeling. You wake up after a full night's sleep, have your cup of coffee, think about what you've got to do for the day, and oh, you're already ready for bed. You're exhausted just when you get going. And believe me, you're not alone. Statistics show that 70% of women over 40 report chronic fatigue or just feeling tired like on a daily basis. And what do many people get told the solution is? Get more sleep. Maybe you're already getting sleep, or maybe that's part of the problem. You're not getting good sleep. Or they say just have an extra cup of coffee. That extra cup of coffee just might be a very temporary solution to give you a little bit of energy boost with the caffeine. But Laura and we've been working on the 3 E's of energy, and we're going to share with you like everything on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. And you definitely want to jump on to that masterclass because we're both diving deep and bringing you all the goods that we can find, because we feel like this is something that people, especially women over 40, are really struggling with. But let's look at a couple of the things that, without giving you all the goods, because we want to say the good stuff for the Monday masterclass, but let's look at a couple of things. One of the things that we really want to look at is mindset. And you may not realize it, but the way you think about your energy level has so much to do with how you're going to be feeling. If you are thinking or saying out loud, ugh, I'm just so tired. I'm so exhausted. I feel, I just can't move on. You are going to feel, guess what? Very tired, very lethargic, I just can't move on. However, if you switch that around and say, I'm feeling more energized today than I ever have. I know that I've got this energy in me and I'm going to bring it out today. I'm going to bring my best energy forward today. Now, you might think that's woo woo, but I'm telling you, what you tell yourself is what you're going to feel, is what you're going to believe, it's what you're going to, it's how you're going to respond. Oh, good morning, Kathy. All right. I'm glad to see we've got people on here already, and I just want to shut the volume down. Your brain will hear what you said. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Kathy. I'm sorry you didn't have a good night's sleep. All right, let's agree that's a big part of it is our mindset, and we can turn that around. And it just, like anything else, really takes practice. If it, and mindset is key around anything. Like, I used to tell myself, oh my gosh, I'm just addicted to junk food. And guess what? I was totally addicted to junk food. I turned that around, and it doesn't work 100% for me all the time because I still sometimes gravitate towards those chips if they're around. My solution to that is I don't have chips around. But when they are around, I just remind myself I fuel my body with good, healthy, nutritious foods. That's another energy hack. I'm not going to give you the whole lot of here, but that's part of our ease is really what we eat. And if you're experiencing those highs and lows of energy during the day, it could be your sugar spiking and your insulin spikes up and down. A lot of that has to do also with what you're eating. And Kathy, I know you know this because we've talked about this a lot, and making sure you've got the fiber and the protein together when you're eating. That is going to give you a more sustainable energy rather than that quick energy boost that a Snickers bar might give you. But what's going to happen with that Snickers bar is then you're going to crash like maybe an hour later. So what we want to help you do is have that good energy, good sustained energy throughout the day from the moment you wake up. Maybe not the moment you wake up. Some people wake up ready to rock and roll. Other people, maybe it might take you a few minutes to get going before you really feel energized. That's me. Laura and I are totally opposite in that a sense, because she wakes up and she's ready to go. I wake up, takes me a minute. I like to have my cup of coffee and kind of ease into the day, but then my energy level is good for the day. All right, so we've got mindset, we've got really what we're eating, and then our hormones. Our hormones also have a lot to do with our energy levels. Part of that, there's not a lot we can do with it because it just happens with our hormones as we age, right? We get to this age of 40, and for many women, the hormonal changes, those estrogen and all of those hormonal changes, can last 10, 15, even 20 years. And even as we age, we continue, our hormones change. But there's other hormones. There's our cortisol, which is our stress level, our stress hormone. So what our body is doing is, when we're under a lot of stress, right, our cortisol levels rise and our metabolism actually begins to slow down. And that's a natural biological response. And it has to do with our bodies wanting to preserve ourselves. When we're under stress, our body doesn't necessarily know it's stressed because a tiger's chasing us, or it's stressed because we are juggling a million things, right? Very often, women take over the bulk of running the household, caring for children, caring for adult children, caring for our parents, caring for maybe other adult family members that need care. It not always, but very often relies on the women in the family to be managing the bulk of that. Stressful. This time in our lives, over 40, we're starting to either already hit retirement age or thinking about retirement. And do I have the financial stability to actually retire and be comfortable as I retire? Or do I need to keep working? That's something that can definitely add to your stress level. And sometimes we think in our younger years, life is stressful. But honestly, this is a big time of excess stress in our lives. And there's things we can do about that, because what the excess stress is going to do is, it, like I said, it rises the cortisol levels. And that's one thing that is going to contribute to that excess belly fat, which, if you're anything like 70%, 80% of the female population in the United States, you've got some excess belly fat, right? Men and women, but yes, women, we often hold it there. So there's some things we can do about that, and we're going to talk about that on Monday in our masterclass, because we want you to be able to understand this and manage this and help you to not only feel more energized, but to give your body the fuel to be more energized. And it's a combination of things that are going to happen. So I want to invite you to join us Monday. I'm going to drop the link down here, and go ahead and get yourselves registered. It'll be 8 p.m. Monday. The 3 E's of energy. I want you to understand how simple it can be to begin embracing the 3 E's of energy, so you have more energy throughout the day. Now, let me see. Again, I'm not giving you all the goods. I want you to jump on our thing, but I'll tell you, between Laura and I, we have worked with hundreds of women and helped them to understand the power of these simple elements to creating a life that is not only more energizing, but more fulfilling. Let's really embrace all that we have and all that we can be and all that we can do, so that life is really something wonderful that we enjoy, something that we can just say, yes, this is what life is about. I love living my life, and I look forward to getting up in the morning and filling my day with whatever it is that you want to fill it with. So part of what you're going to get when you register for this masterclass is you are going to get what's called the movement tracker. If you haven't gotten that yet, you want to get it because it's super cool. It is designed for you to track your movement in 5-minute increments, because sometimes we think of, yes, what our goal is, what Laura and I are really pushing for is for each and every one of you to get 30 minutes at least 5 days a week, preferably 7 days a week. Because, and let me explain this to you, when we take a day off from movement, it's very easy for one day to become 2 days, to become 3 days, and before you know it, a week, right? It's human nature. Our bodies are naturally lazy. We want to be lazy. We do. I'll tell you, think about it. Would you rather go walk 6 times around the block, or would you rather sit on the couch and watch Netflix? Most people, yeah, I'd rather sit around the couch and watch Netflix. But again, this becomes mindset. When you realize how much good it does to your body to get up and do even a couple of laps around the house or back and forth to the mailbox a couple of times, every activity that you embrace, that you put into your life, is going to add to your energy. And it sounds a little counterintuitive because, yes, getting up and moving takes energy. However, it actually gives you more energy as well. It's crazy how that works, but our body's beautifully built that way. So the movement tracker, even if you can do 5 minutes, set a timer, look at the clock. Okay, I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to dance for 5 minutes. I'm going to walk up and down my staircase for 5 minutes. I'm going to go outside and walk around my house for 5 minutes, and then you check it off. And what happens is, not only do you get like a little dopamine boost, which is your feel-good hormone, by actually doing that movement, you get a dopamine boost by filling in that little bubble or giving yourself a little check mark for that. That is the beautiful thing. I am going to drop the link down below, and you'll get an email, and in that email you'll see the link also for the movement tracker, because we want you to start tracking that. And like I said, our goal is for you to get to 30 minutes a day. You don't need to start there. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You can do 5 minutes in the morning, 5 after lunch, 5 after dinner. There you go. You got 15 minutes. You're halfway there. Keep doing that. Before you know it, you'll be up to your 30 minutes of movement, and life is great. I look forward to seeing you Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central with Laura and I for our Why Am I So Exhausted? That's the name of our masterclass, and we want you there because we don't want you being exhausted anymore. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.